Every dog owner I know has lived through this exact moment at least once. You open the door to greet a friend. Your dog comes trotting over like the well-behaved animal you've spent years training. And within 2 seconds, that same dog has shoved its nose directly into a place no nose should ever go. You apologize until your face turns red. You blame yourself for not training harder, and you promise it will never happen again. I'm counting down 7 truths about this behavior, starting at number 7 and building to the one that changed how scientists think about dogs forever. Number 7. Your crotch is the human version of a dog's rear end.
Whoa! Hi! Hello! Oh.
I know that sounds blunt, and I promise I am not being dramatic. When 2 dogs meet each other, they go straight for the back end. You've seen it 1,000 times at the park. It looks strange to us, but to them, it is simply a greeting. Dogs carry special scent glands around their rear that release information about who they are, how old they are, whether they are male or female, how healthy they are, and what kind of mood they are in. Sniffing those glands is how one dog says hello to another dog and gets their full introduction in a single breath. The fascinating part is that humans have the exact same type of glands. They are called apocrine glands, and in our bodies, they are concentrated in only 2 places: under our arms and around our groin. So when your dog walks up to a guest and aims for that area, it is not being perverted, and it is not being badly behaved. It is greeting that person the only way its species knows how. Your crotch just happens to sit right at your dog's nose height, and it carries the same kind of chemical story a dog's rear end carries. Stanley Corn once wrote about a real legal case where a woman actually sued a judge because his courthouse dog kept nuzzling under her skirt. The judge who heard the case dismissed it with a line that still makes me laugh. He said that impoliteness on the part of a dog does not count as sexual harassment on the part of the owner. So the sniff is a greeting. That part we can accept. Then comes number 6. Your dog lives in a world you can't see.
So anytime your dog's paying attention to you, either offering a sit or a down.
Where you have around 6 million scent receptors in your nose, your dog has hundreds of millions. A beagle carries around 225 million, and a bloodhound carries closer to 300 million. The part of the brain that processes smell is also massively larger in a dog than it is in you, which means your dog isn't just smelling more than you, it's thinking in smell the way you think in pictures. Dogs also smell in stereo. Each nostril works independently, almost like the way your 2 ears help you figure out where a sound is coming from. So when your dog leans in close to a guest, its brain is doing something incredible. It's locating, measuring, and sorting every chemical signal that humans are giving off, all in real time, and all in a sensory world you will never fully experience. But what most people never stop to ask is what your dog is actually learning during those few embarrassing seconds. And the answer is genuinely unsettling in the best possible way. Number 5. Your dog reads your entire story in 3 seconds.
You in shower, baby? Do you want shower?
In the same amount of time it takes you to say hello to someone, your dog has already pulled together more information about that person than you'll gather all evening. From a single sniff, your dog can figure out if the person is male or female, roughly how old they are, whether their hormones are balanced or shifting, and whether they are calm, nervous, or stressed out of their mind. Those apocrine glands I mentioned earlier release a special kind of sweat that actually reacts to emotions, which means fear, excitement, anxiety, and even attraction all change the chemicals your body gives off. Your dog tastes every single one of those shifts. There was a study done in the Czech Republic where researchers tested trained police dogs using identical twins who lived under the same roof and ate the same food. You would think that would confuse any animal alive. It didn't. Those dogs identified each twin correctly every single time, even when the other twin was part of the lineup. That is how precise your chemical fingerprint is to a dog. Every human being carries a scent signature as unique as a set of fingerprints, and your dog can read it instantly. Your dog isn't guessing who you are, and it isn't guessing who your guests are either. It already knows, down to a level of detail no human being will ever match. If your dog can read all of that from one quick sniff, What happens when something deeper is going on inside a person's body? Number 4. Your dog feels what you feel.
I wonder if I should do it.
This one genuinely changed the way I look at my own dog, and I think it will do the same for you. A team of researchers in Italy ran an experiment a few years back where they collected sweat from men who had just watched scary movies and men who had just watched funny ones. They then let pet dogs smell those sweat samples, and the difference in behavior was startling. The dogs exposed to fear sweat had faster heartbeats, showed clear signs of stress, and ran back to their owners for comfort. The dogs exposed to happy sweat stayed relaxed and walked right up to strangers like old friends. More recently, another team took the idea even further. They exposed dogs to the sweat of stressed strangers the dogs had never met before. Those dogs became hesitant, cautious, and almost pessimistic when tested on simple decisions. Nothing in the room had changed for them except the smell in the air, and yet their entire mood shifted. So when your dog comes home and sniffs you after a long day, it isn't only saying hello, it's catching your mood. It's absorbing your stress. It's reading the emotional weather of your body and quietly adjusting itself to match you. In a very real sense, your feelings become its feelings, and that is part of why dogs and humans bond the way we do. If your dog can pick up on your mood from a few molecules in your sweat, you have to wonder what else it can pick up that you can't see yourself. Number 3. The dog that saved her owner's life.
Meet Figo. He's a golden retriever that made a golden save.
Years ago, 2 doctors wrote up a short medical report that ended up changing the way scientists think about dogs forever. A woman walked into a clinic because her dog, a border collie mixed with a Doberman, would not leave one specific mole on her thigh alone. Every other mole on her body, the dog ignored completely. This one, it sniffed obsessively, even right through her clothes. Eventually, the dog actually tried to bite it off. She finally got the mole checked, and it turned out to be an early-stage melanoma, caught in time to save her life. Her dog had found a cancer her own doctor had missed. Years later, a woman named Claire Guest was walking her fox red Labrador Daisy when Daisy kept jumping up and pressing her nose into Claire's chest, then staring directly into her eyes. Claire pushed her off a few times before something told her to check the spot Daisy kept hitting. There was a small lump there. Her doctor assumed it was a harmless cyst. It wasn't. It was a deep form of breast cancer, the kind that's hard to catch early, and Daisy had found it first. Claire later went on to co-found medical detection dogs in the UK, and the dogs trained through her organization have since been shown in peer-reviewed research to detect prostate cancer with striking accuracy. So the same dog you apologize for in front of guests is related in every meaningful way to the animals now being trained in hospitals to catch diseases before machines can. But this next finding might be the strangest one yet, because it turns out your dog sometimes knows things about your body that you don't even know about yourself. Number 2, your dog knew before you did.
Good boy! Good boy.
There's a growing pile of stories from dog owners around the world who noticed their dog acting strangely during the earliest weeks of pregnancy. Some dogs became unusually clingy, some refused to leave their owner's side, some started sniffing at the belly or the hips long before a single test strip had been used. A senior veterinarian named Dr. Katie Nelson once told the story of her own dog, Papa. One quiet afternoon, Papa walked over and lay his head on her stomach, which was something he hadn't done in years. It struck her as unusual enough that she actually took a pregnancy test that same day. The test came back negative. 2 weeks later, she tested again, and that one came back positive. Her dog had known before the test did. The science behind this is straightforward. Early pregnancy floods the human body with a surge of new hormones, and those hormones change the chemicals coming out of the same apocrine glands your dog already loves to sniff. The shift is subtle, invisible to us, and impossible for any human to notice, but for a dog, it lights up like a neon sign. The same kind of sensitivity has been observed around ovulation and around menstrual cycles as well. Dogs have even been trained to identify ovulating cows more reliably than the existing tests used in cattle breeding. Your dog's nose is picking up on hormonal changes your own body hasn't gotten around to announcing to you yet. Which brings us to the number 1 truth about this behavior, and I promise, this is the one that will stay with you long after this video ends. Number 1, the sniff is love.
Your dog's oblivious of you and just sniffing or checking out distractions.
A researcher named Gregory Burns at Emory University did something nobody else had ever done. He trained dogs to lie completely still inside an MRI machine while fully awake so he could actually watch their brains working in real time. He then exposed those dogs to 5 different smells. Their own scent. The scent of a familiar dog, the scent of a strange dog, the scent of a strange human, and the scent of a familiar human. Only one of those smells lit up the reward center of the dog's brain, the same region that fires in you and me when we feel love or anticipation or joy. It wasn't their own scent. It wasn't a familiar dog. It was the familiar human. What makes that finding even more beautiful is that the familiar human wasn't in the room at the time. The dog wasn't reacting to a person it could see. It was reacting to the memory of someone it loved, triggered entirely by their smell. So when your dog rushes over, sniffs your legs, and then looks up into your face, it is not being gross, and it is not being untrained. It is confirming you. It is finding you in a crowd of chemical noise. It is saying, in the only language its species has, that you are the one it has been waiting for. The next time your dog causes that awkward moment in your living room, I want you to take a breath before you apologize. Because somewhere inside that strange, embarrassing sniff is a greeting, a diagnosis, a hormone report, and a quiet declaration of love, all happening at once. Your dog is trying to understand you. Every time you let it, you are letting it tell you the most honest thing it knows how to say. If this gave you a new way to see your dog, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe so you never miss the next one. On this channel, we speak dog. I'll see you in the next video.